And hello once again, just past 12 a.m. in Paris, 6 o'clock in the east, 3 p.m. here in the west, and just past noon in French Polynesia, where once again the surfing competition is continuing right now with the women's third round of surfing. We'll get to all that action in a minute as we welcome you to C&C Live recap of day 3 of these Olympic Games, where we had 19 gold medals awarded. But we're actually going to start with a quick preview of something that's going to be coming up tomorrow, and that is what's going on in the Seine. The triathlon begins tomorrow. That would be the men's triathlon, and as of right now, 8 hours before that is set to begin, the Seine is not currently swimmable. They've had to cancel both of the trainings that were set to be going on in the Seine because of the high levels of E. coli. So they have 8 hours to figure that out, or else they're going to have to do a major pivot.
Which probably means they're not going to at all. Because how do you solve that in 8 hours?
Yeah, I mean we've discussed this a couple times on our live streams, but I like the takeaway is they say the Seine is swimmable except when it rains, and in the couple days after. We know it did rain in Paris just a couple days ago on Saturday, and again, if a river is swimmable except when it rains, then the river is not swimmable. And we think it's just a bad idea in general to have ever just thought holding the swimming events in the Seine was going to work.
Well, I thought it was a good try, and it would have been really cool if it was able to happen. But yeah,
I mean it's a good idea to try to get the Seine cleaned up and available for public swimming. I think that's a great idea, but it was on such a rushed timeline that it wasn't possible. If they were holding the Olympics in 2028, then sure, maybe it'll be completely fine then, but it doesn't seem completely fine now.
No, it doesn't. And if I would be worried if I were one of those swimmers, if they say tomorrow that, yeah, you're going to be swimming in this.
You could not pay me to go into the Seine.
No.
No amount of money.
Calling it a crappy experience would be true in more than one way.
Yeah, it's an understatement as well.
Yes, it is.
I don't want E. coli.
No, it doesn't sound fun at all.
No, it does not. Let's get into the action that took place in these Olympic Games today. Day 3 of these Olympics, and as we mentioned, 19 medals, and we'll start with those medals in the pool, as we often do. 5 of these 19 medal finals today took place in the pool. That would be the men's 100-meter backstroke, the women's 100-meter breaststroke, the women's 200-meter freestyle, as well as the men's 200-meter freestyle and the women's 400-meter individual medley. And we saw a few medals from the United States, but we'll start with that women's 400 individual medley. Summer McIntosh, the 17-year-old from Canada, the one who in the 400 freestyle beat Katie Ledecky, took second place behind Ariane Titmus back a couple days ago. She won this event as expected. It was not close. She won this event by a lot, but then behind that, the United States getting both the silver medal with Katie Grimes and Emma Wyant took home the bronze. So 2 of the 3 medals on that podium going to the United States, and notably too, not Australia, as that US-Australia pool rivalry heats up. US definitely has more medals overall in the pool, fewer golds in the pool. And another thing that happened today, or really didn't happen today, no golds for the United States today. Several medals, but none of them gold. No one standing on that top step of the podium. And as we move on to other swimming events as well, if we move on to other swimming events, in that men's 200-meter freestyle, another American taking home the bronze. Lots of bronzes from the U.S. today. Luke Hobson in third, Matthew Richards from Great Britain getting the silver medal. David Popovici from Romania taking home that gold medal, big win. And this was a phenomenal race here in that men's 200. The top three separated by just 7/100ths of a second. This was actually somewhat similar to that men's race that we had yesterday, where there was a tie for silver. So several good men's swimming events. That one was in the men's 100 breaststroke. This was the men's 200-meter freestyle. That Michael Phelps's Olympic record, again, not even really touched, nearly 2 seconds off of that pace and in this event. As I don't know if anyone will touch his Olympic record. And then in those three other finals, the men's 100-meter backstroke, Ryan Murphy still doing his thing, his third straight Olympics with a medal in this event. It was gold and then now 2 bronzes as he finishes third. Thomas Chekon and Jia Zhu from China, and then from Italy for Thomas Chekon, bringing home the gold and silver respectively. Then in the women's 100-meter breaststroke, Tajana Smith took home the gold from South Africa, Kranting Tang. A terrible finish for this race for her. It was not a good finish at all, but still managing to get the silver. Then from Ireland, Ronna McSherry getting the bronze. Someone who was close, but actually somewhat surprisingly unable to medal here, that would be the American Lily King, tied for 4th, just a 100th of a second off finishing off of that podium, but still off of that podium. As Tajana Smith won by a quarter of a second, and then everyone else from 2 through the tie from 4th was all really clumped in there together. And then that final swimming medal, the women's 200-meter freestyle, and this was a race I think we thought Ariane Titmus would win, and she got silver, not gold. Her another Australian won the gold, Molly O'Callaghan, Siobhan Bernadette Hawley from Hong Kong winning the bronze. Actually, I believe the first swimming medal ever for Hong Kong in the Olympics. So, Zach, what do you make of these finals in the pool?
Well, it's really incredible that Hong Kong has won their first medal ever in this sport, and in the pool, and yeah, I think all around quite interesting.
Yeah, I think obviously that's a big takeaway. Ariane Titmus being run down, I think, was by her fellow Aussie, I think was another really notable thing that happened in that race. Also, Lily King missing the podium just by that 100th of a second is just so so brutal.
That's really rough. Was she a favorite before
to win gold? No, I think Tajana Smith is the person who ended up winning that race for South Africa. Right. I think you've got to give her, you've got to say that she was the favorite going into the race for that gold. But I think Lily King, I'm somewhat shocked that she didn't end up on the podium, but she got herself behind fairly early. She was playing catch up, and she almost caught up. If there was another 2 meters, I think she would have gotten on the podium.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's really rough.
Yeah. So good, though, to see Ryan Murphy back on an Olympic podium where he absolutely belongs for the United States. Not on the top step this time, but his second bronze in this event, third overall medal in the event. And then, of course, Summer McIntosh in that women's 400. She's just 17. She's going to be a problem in the sport of swimming in the Olympics, but also just in other just world swimming competitions for a long time.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Because she has a lot of years.
A lot of years. I expect her at some point in her career, she'll take home the gold in the women's 400-meter freestyle. She'll take the torch from Ariane Titmus. Titmus still pretty young, and I think 2028, absolutely, she could still win it. But I mean, Summer McIntosh could be swimming and possibly winning medals in the 2036 Olympics.
Oh wow!
Okay. Right, like that's how young she is. So I fully expect that. I fully expect great things from her going forward as such a young swimmer from Canada. Now, in a different sport that takes place in the water, the diving events. Today we
Yeah.
saw the men's synchronized 10-meter platform, and it was expected to be pretty close between China and Great Britain at the top. It was China ending up getting the gold medal, and it was not actually that close. 490 points for them, Great Britain with 463 roughly. So it was, yeah, not close whatsoever. Some just absolutely brilliant dives though from that duo for China.
Yeah, that's incredible. I haven't really seen much of the water sports today because I started watching a bit later. But yeah, it sounds like really incredible. Something I should definitely watch afterwards.
Yeah. So that's diving. Then the one of the other marquee event today was that men's team final in gymnastics. The United States in the men's team final in gymnastics. We were talking about this a couple days ago. We were not very impressed with what the United States men were able to do in qualifying, but they have
Yeah.
not been up as a team on the podium for the men's team final since 2008. That streak ended today. They took home the bronze medal here in this team event behind
Oh,
uh, Japan, who managed to take home the gold, and China, who was able to take home the silver. China was in a great spot to take home the gold, and probably the favorites in this event. But then, in the final rotation on the horizontal bar, Wade Su for China fell two times off of that bar, a score of
yikes.
11.6, which just absolutely ruined their country's chances of winning that gold medal. It went to Japan instead.
Yeah. Wow. And this was gymnastics?
Yeah, this is gymnastics. But then for the United States, that team led in the end a great job on the pommel horse by Steven Nedroskic. It's the only apparatus in which he was participating in the finals today, and he closed it for the United States, a 14.866. Just a brilliant job by him and the rest of that Team USA, Paul Judah, Brody Malone on that as well. And then Frederick Richard and Asher Hong put up really big scores for the United States too. It was really a team effort, able to get up on the podium for men's gymnastics for, again, the first time since 2008.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you weren't we just saying yesterday about how like they've really not shown a lot of promise in past years.
Yeah,
Really not.
and 2 days ago in the qualifying, we did not think that they looked that great. Um,
No,
very
no.
few of their athletes able to qualify for the individual apparatus finals. Still going to be an uphill battle for anyone on that team to get up on the podium in the all-around final in a couple days, but managing to medal in the team final, that's a big deal for this U.S. men's gymnastics team, and something that I think they don't want to jinx it, but I think there's a pretty good chance of the women doing the same thing, except maybe instead of a bronze medal, they'll be taking home a gold.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully a gold. I mean, we definitely have the makings of a gold team. So
Exactly. Um, Zach, you want to fill airspace for a second? I will be right back.
yeah, sure. I'll do my best. I guess uh I can talk about handball, Argentina versus Hungary. Um, Hungary won 35-25, which is it was a really insane, intense game. Although, yeah, Hungary was much better. Actually, one player on the, I believe, checking this, uh, Argentina's team was elbowed in the face during the game. That was looked very painful. Let's see what else.
What sport are you on?
Handball.
Oh, handball.
I just went over the score for
to deal with a background sound going on near me.
Oh, yeah. I just was talking about Argentina versus Hungary. Hungary won 35-25. And I believe it was a player on Argentina's team that actually got elbowed in the face during the game, which looks extremely painful.
Sure.
But yeah, that's. Do we want to move on to a different sport?
Well, I think we can actually stay on handball because something notable has been happening in men's handball. France, they won the gold medal back in the Tokyo Olympics, won the silver medal in the Rio Olympics in 2016. They on a couple days ago, we talked about this. They lost to Denmark this is still the group stage, so it wasn't a big deal, and we didn't make too much out of it because Denmark is probably their biggest rival in handball. They faced off against Denmark in the gold medal match, both in Tokyo and in Rio. Lost in Rio, won in Tokyo. So we didn't make a ton of it that Denmark won. France lost again, though, and this time it was not to Denmark. It's to a team that has never been on the podium in handball. They lost to Norway.
Oh yeah, and didn't you say that France has been the favorites previously and a very good team in previous Olympics?
Yeah, for a long time, the French handball is. I mean, it's a source of national pride during the Olympics for France. Is just how well they do at handball. This is a medal that I mean I think that they fully expected to win the gold here, and they still could, but it's not looking good. That team has some issues that they need to figure out because they didn't just lose by like a point; they lost by 5 points.
Yeah, that's not good, especially in Paris. That's even more of a gut punch.
I mean, yeah, you want to do well at your home Olympics.
Yeah.
You I mean, you want to do well at any Olympics, but especially as a country, you want to really, really be strong at your home Olympics. It's something that we know the US is trying to work towards for 2028. Japan had their best ever showing at the Tokyo Olympics in 2020. It's been a good start to these Olympics in general for France, but this is a sport that we really thought that they could do well in, and they're not.
Yeah, I didn't see this match. Do you think this was sort of a fluke? France just sort of fell apart, or do you think that Norway is really looking good in a way that they really haven't in previous years?
And we'll put it this way. It's much easier to call something a fluke when they haven't lost back-to-back matches.
Yeah. But just based on the look of you saw the game?
Yeah.
Just based on the look of the teamwork and the play, do you think this was France like completely falling apart? Which I assume would be easy-ish to see if it was just, something really odd happened.
I wouldn't say that. I'd say they have a big uphill battle ahead of them. Like if they win out, then like they're still gonna win the gold. But it's hard for me to say at the moment that they look like a team that has the potential to win the rest of their games, and that their first 2 games were flukes.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely be watching that closely to see whether France can pull this around or if they lose in a dramatic way, which they haven't in many years.
Yeah, and speaking of big upsets, we've talked about this U.S. women's water polo team being just the best of the best in the sport. They lost today to Spain. This was, I think there's serious concern here for the United States. Like this one, I think it's easier to possibly call a fluke. They lost by 2 when they lost to Spain, but at the same time, like this is a sport that you gotta medal in if you're the United States. You gotta win the gold specifically, and a loss like that stings.
In which sport was this?
In water polo. And like to make things even worse, like Spain, who the U.S. lost to today, they were the runners-up in 2020. So it's not like, oh, it's just a fluke. No, like Spain is actually
Good.
a
They're
very good
actually know
country
what
at
this.
this
Yeah.
sport, and it's not at all clear to me that the U.S. should be the favorites for the gold right now.
Yikes! Wow. So those are some major upsets, both for France in handball and the U.S. in water polo.
Absolutely, they were. Let's talk a little bit of tennis. This was, in all likelihood, today the final match that Rafael Nadal will ever play
Wow.
well, sorry, the final singles match that Rafael Nadal will ever play at Roland Garros. Lost in straight sets to Novak Djokovic, a match that, I mean, you had to expect that he was going to lose, given where these players are at their career. The 60th career matchup between these players, and there have been a lot of classics in there. This one, I would guess, probably the final one. Now he is still alive in doubles with Carlos Alcaraz. That he'll play that tomorrow, but it's just we don't. He's never officially said when he's retiring, but it looks
Probably.
like it's probably nearing the end for him now. Elsewhere in tennis, the favorite on the women's side, Iga Swiatek, won, dropped just 2 games the entire match. She is practically unbeatable on clay. Um,
Wow.
Coco Gauff going through Casper Ruud, who is okay usually, but on clay is a much better player. He's advanced, so he has real medal potential here at these Olympics. Barbara Krejcikova, the reigning Wimbledon champion, she's advanced. The U.S. duo of Taylor Fritz and Tommy Paul on men's doubles. They're through to the next event. They beat the Canadian duo of Rani and Ajer Aliassime. Jessica Pegula, however, she is out, losing in 3 sets to Elena Svitolina of Ukraine. We've seen Svitolina actually have a lot of success at major tournaments in the last couple of years, so this is no exception, taking out one of the better players in the world for the United States.
Wow.
Let's pick another sport. Let's talk about archery. We saw yesterday that Korean women's team
Yeah.
who has never lost the medal in the team event. They won that yesterday. They also now winning the gold today over France in the men's team event, with Turkey getting the bronze medal, their first medal of the Olympics.
I didn't see today's archery match, but I did see yesterday's South Korea versus China, and that was quite an interesting match. China actually did have a chance of winning, although South Korea just ground them down and brought home the medal. But what was today's match like, Colin? I don't know. Was it was it close like yesterday's, or was it sort of
No,
yeah.
it was not at all. Korea just looked like, I mean, it feels like such lazy analysis, but it's true. Korea just looked like the better team through and through. Every single set, there was never really a doubt at any point that they were going to be the Olympic champions.
I mean, they make it look easy. Truly, they do.
They did.
It's kind of incredible.
Yeah. Move from that to, we had medals today. Finally, in equestrian, in eventing, there was the jumping stage of the eventing competitions. So the team final, Great Britain winning that, with France and Japan getting silver and bronze. Individually, though, a Brit coming in third, and an Aussie coming in second. But it's Michael Jung of Germany takes home the gold. So that does it for the eventing competitions in equestrian. But don't worry, because tomorrow, Zach, we get the start of the dressage.
Yeah.
The
Uh-huh.
I wonder who will be watching. Definitely not me.
Yeah, probably not me either. Although I don't have I'm not as against it as you are. But I definitely do think there will be more interesting sports to watch at that
So
time.
it's at 2 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. We'll put it this way. There's Olympic sports that I would wake up at 2 a.m. to watch. Heck, there's other events that aren't Olympic sports that I would wake up at 2 a.m. to watch. Dressage is one that I would rather go to sleep at 4 p.m. than watch it. I certainly would not be waking up at 2 a.m. to watch dressage.
Is there anything else on at that time? I'm guessing yes.
Let's take a look at tomorrow's Olympic schedule. The answer is undoubtedly yes. At 2 a.m. tomorrow, yeah, we have a basketball game between Spain and Greece, which should be a great game. We've got beach volleyball. We've got rowing semifinals. We've got boxing prelims. We have handball. We have the swimming heats. So yeah, a lot going on at 2 a.m.
So I guess you'll have lots of other things to watch, and so will everybody else who doesn't like watching horses walk around.
I think that for the 2026 Olympics, which are in Italy, I think that the play for me is going to be to go to the East Coast so that I don't have to wake up at 2. I
Yeah,
can wake up at like 5 instead, or I
yeah.
can wake up
I was
or
gonna
I can
say
wake up at like 2 but see even more events.
yeah. I was gonna say Charlie has it good right now on the East Coast because he's there right now. Although he has other things going on, but if he had time, he'd be in the perfect spot to watch the Olympics.
He's probably been watching some in the morning.
Yeah, sure, he has.
Not a ton because I don't think that he knows how to watch many of the events. I don't think that he has a login for it.
He could watch them live,
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
I am calling him at 3 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow.
Which which is 6. So he
No,
might
3
be.
a.m. Eastern time.
Oh, 3 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
Oh, you're calling him at 12 a.m.
Yeah,
today.
he can get up and he can watch the triathlon and he can like it.
Or his phone could be dead.
His phone will probably be dead.
Yeah.
I love how we're just casually roasting him on here for not showing up, and odds are he doesn't know. Or
Yeah.
maybe he does. Maybe he's listening. Charlie, write in the comments if you're listening.
Yes. We'd love to hear it. Looks like he's neither one of our 2 viewers right now.
That's a shame. All right. Let's move on from that and the whole roasting Charlie thing to basketball. U.S. women finally getting underway, and Zach, they looked good.
Yes, they did. They looked very good. I saw them crush Japan today. It was
102.76.
Oh wow. I stopped watching it. I think it was 89 to 60
Yeah.
something. It was I mean it was it was a killing. Japan was for a short time in the middle of the game able to at least match the US for points, not stop the US from gaining, but that's about all I can say for Japan's play.
Yeah, I mean, the U.S. women in basketball, we said this yesterday, they have not lost a game at the Olympics in 32 years. And it's
Yeah.
not going to happen this year either. They are the heavy, heavy, heavy favorites to win the gold medal here. They jumped out to a great start today against Japan. They looked great the entire game. Asia Wilson and Breanna Stewart, perhaps unsurprisingly, those two WNBA MVP frontrunners every single year. They led the team in scoring with 24 for Wilson, 22 for Stewart. 13 rebounds as well for Asia Wilson, 8 for Breanna Stewart. But then big contributions from Brittany Griner, 11 points, 9 rebounds today on 5 of 7 shooting. Jackie Young didn't play a ton, but she played well when she did. 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 1 of 1 from the field. Diana Taurasi, it's maybe time to get her off the court. I'm sorry, she's still a good player, but if the rest of the team is better. I'm sorry. Kelsey Plum played pretty well. 3 of 3 from inside, 1 of 3 from downtown. And Sabrina Ionescu also 3 of 7 from downtown, 11 points for her as well as for Plum. A real team effort from the United States, and they look good as ever.
Yeah.
Now, elsewhere in women's basketball, in the United States group, Germany took down Belgium, and then in Group B, France beat Canada, Nigeria beat Austria. So we've got 2 more games coming up in the group stage for the United States. August 1st, the United States will they'll take on Belgium, 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 Eastern, and then on August 4th, the United States will take on Germany, 8:15 a.m. Pacific time. 11:15 a.m. Eastern time. So 2 more games coming up, and then of course we'll get into the medal stages, which goes quarterfinals on August 7th, semifinals August 9th. That gold medal final, which I fully expect the United States will be in and probably win early in the morning on August 11th, the final day of Olympic competition. So this one's going to go all the way to the end.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about beach volleyball?
Yeah, let's talk about beach volleyball. U.S. looked good today, and
Yes, they did. Yeah.
I believe we saw both of their one of their men's team and one of their women's teams playing today. The women's team beat Australia 2-0. Zach, I know that you watched a lot of this match. What did you find notable?
I mean, throughout the whole match, the U.S. just sort of was stronger by a lot. Australia in the later part of the first match just kind of fell apart, like missing blocks that didn't seem like they should be missing, and like just fumbling serves. They really fell apart. And then in the second game, it was just even more of a landslide in the US's favor.
Yeah.
The US just looked really strong. Didn't look like they were really challenged that much. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. It was very much a big US victory.
Yeah, big U.S. victory on the men's side too for the duo of Miles Evans and Chase Budinger, beating the French duo of Youssef Crow and Gauthier Rat, 2-0 as well, 21-14, 21-11, big victory for them there. That's kind of going to do it for beach volleyball. We're going to try to get out of here in 6 minutes, so let's try to cram everything else, all the other sports, into a short period of time. What have you got?
I got fencing. This was a big one for the U.S. today, taking home the bronze in men's foil, I think.
Yeah, it was men's foil.
Yeah, in men's foil. Yeah. It was Japan versus U.S. Itkin versus Imura, and Itkin started out with a pretty strong lead in the beginning of this match, but Imura caught up around the middle. It was quite intense during the middle. Probably could have gone either way, although Itkin was slightly better. And then at the end, I think the final score was 15-12.
Yep.
And so yeah, Itkin really just got more attacking blows and was just dodged all of Amura's attacks really easily. Amura in the beginning tried switching. They're called sabers, aren't they? Sword, I guess.
They're called the foils, I think, in foil, right? Because I think that
yeah.
the name of the competition is based on the name of the sword, I think.
Yeah, so I guess I'm not really sure, but yeah. So tried switching foils multiple times in the beginning. Yeah. that's pretty much all I have to say. And big win for the U.S. Definitely not the favorites in fencing, but we still managed to get a bronze medal, which is impressive.
Yeah, bronze medal there. The gold going to Kaolung Chang from Hong Kong, silver going to Philippa Machi, and then in the women's saber competition today, man, and Apathy Brunette winning gold, and Sarah Balzer from winning silver, both from France. So France 1-2 there, and then the Ukrainian Olga Karlan winning the bronze medal. I believe that's Ukraine's first medal in these Olympics, as they just failed to medal in men's gymnastics in the team event today, finishing fourth there. Moving on from fencing, met the mountain biking competition, the men's mountain bike today. Thomas Pidcock from Great Britain winning gold, Victor Kerensky from France winning silver, Alan Hatherley from South Africa winning bronze. And this was actually, yesterday we saw like a blowout in the women's competition, the good 3-minute victory. This was not that. It was for Thomas Pidcock, it was a 9-second victory. So it was not a ton of drama at the end, but still nothing like what we saw yesterday, where it was over by the second lap.
Are there any other sports that are?
Yeah, we're missing a medal in canoe slalom, the men's canoeing today. Nicolas Guestin for France winning gold, Adam Burgess winning silver for Great Britain, Slovakia's Martin Benes winning the bronze medal. No American in this competition after being eliminated, and I want to say that in the semifinals here today. Moving on from that, I think that's all the medals. Unless, oh no, there were 2 more medals in judo today, and a couple in shooting, and 1 in skateboarding. So let's go through those very, very quickly here. Let's start with judo. Medals here going to give me just a minute.
Glad to guess.
Medals here for the going. I almost said to the United States. Definitely not to the United States. Again, there's 2 bronzes here. So Japan and France winning 1 in the bronze each in the women's. Canada getting the gold. Korea getting the silver, and then in the men's competition, gold going to Azerbaijan, their first medal of the Olympics. France getting silver, and then Japan and Moldova each getting a bronze there. In skateboarding, this is another great event for the United States. We mentioned no golds for the U.S. today. Silver and a bronze here from Jagger Eaton. He now has 2 skateboarding medals for the U.S. Silver this year, and then back in Tokyo, he won the bronze in this event. And then Nigel Huston winning the bronze. Yuto Horigome of Japan taking home the gold. And then finally, in shooting, you again might be shocked that despite the U.S.'s obsession with guns, they apparently don't know how to do it very well. No medals here. Korea, or no medals for the United States. Korea getting the gold in the air rifle women's, with China and Switzerland getting silver and bronze, and then China getting the gold in the men's air rifle, Sweden and Croatia getting silver and bronze. Apparently all of the shooters that we send to the Olympics, Zach, are they're like the Trump shooter, as in not good at the whole shooting thing.
Yeah, it seems that way. On the other hand, it seems Korea is just really good at anything, any sort of sport that has aiming involved.
Don't piss off a Korean.
No,
apparently.
don't. Yeah.
U.S. women's volleyball also losing. Not a great day for the U.S. Today. They lost to China in the preliminary round. So it was a close match. 3-2 in this one. Serbia, Brazil, and Turkey also getting volleyball wins today. In addition to China. And then of course we've still got surfing going on. I might go watch a little bit of that because for now,
Yeah.
Zach, unless you have anything else to add, that'll do it.
I guess the only thing I would add is maybe just quickly go over the overall scores. U.S. is in the lead for total medals. Japan is still in the lead for golds, and France and China are right behind.
France also with
France,
16 overall medals, US with 20,
yeah, US with 20.
but still just the 3 golds.
Yeah, which hopefully we'll see that number rise in the coming days. But yeah, I think that'll do it.
That will do it for this live stream. Thanks for listening. Let's see. We've got obviously another live stream tomorrow after all of the events coming up tomorrow on Tuesday, day 4 of the Olympics. More swimming medals and events in water polo, archery, badminton, basketball, boxing, breakdancing. Sorry, not breakdancing. Basketball, instead of the 3v3 basketball competition, boxing, canoeing, BMX, biking instead of BMX, instead of dressage. Wow, can't wait for that. Fencing, field hockey, men's football is back tomorrow. Women's all-around gymnastics, handball, judo, rowing, a rugby final on the women's side, final day of rugby, sailing, shooting, surfing, table tennis, men's triathlon, and then of course beach volleyball and volleyball as those competitions continue. We'll see you all back here for that tomorrow. But for now, that's 6 live streams down, and 13 more to go here at these Olympic Games as we wrap up day 3. And also Twitter at C&C Talks Podcast, Colin and Charlie at C&C Talks Charlie. Join us on Discord at cctalks.com/Discord, our website cctalks.com, to check out all of our episodes right here on YouTube, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else that you listen to podcasts. Now for our entire team, Boris, Zach, and Charlie, I'm Colin. We will see you right back here tomorrow.